In Israel, the first funerals for victims of the Hamas terror attacks. Here, a fallen soldier. Here, a murdered festival goer, gunned down at an all-night party, aged 24. Grieving family and friends, parents weeping for children suddenly and callously taken from them. But the shock of Hamas' unprecedented attacks is rapidly morphing into anger now. Just a week ago, Israel was a divided country. Now it appears united in the face of what it sees as an existential threat. The crisis prompted Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to put aside political differences and form an emergency government, including centrist former Defence Minister Benny Gantz.
The state of Israel will be the strongest state in the region.
And a seat also reserved for opposition leader Yair Lapid. As Israel continues to boost the number of soldiers deployed, the Defence Minister spelled out the government's intentions in no uncertain terms.
The ISIS of Gaza will not exist on our border. The IDF will destroy Hamas. And we will hunt down every last man with the blood of our children on his hand.
As politicians come together to take on Hamas, young Israelis are returning from all over the world to report for duty in the military reserve. A medical student in Lithuania.
I cannot sit here and study medicine while I know that my friends are fighting and my family needs protection. This is my time. It's my duty right now.
A backpacker in Southeast Asia.
To be part of the big operation that happens in Israel, to be part of this significant times in Israel.
It looks likely that the operation could soon include a ground offensive. Israeli tanks and armoured vehicles continue to arrive at the border with Gaza.
Yeah, well, focus may be on that expected Israeli ground campaign into Gaza, but there are also reports tonight of shootings in both East Jerusalem and the West Bank. For more on that, I just spoke to journalist Sami Sockol in Jerusalem.
Yeah, well, as to the shooting here in East Jerusalem, we're talking about a Palestinian gunman who approached a police station just outside the old city by the Herald's Gate, and he opened fire at the police station, wounding one policeman. Actually, two were wounded. One was seriously wounded. The other one was more lightly wounded. And then immediately the police went after him. They shot and killed him. And there was following that, they closed the gates of the old city of Jerusalem. Mm-hmm. And that's regarding that incident. We've seen in the West Bank is something totally different. And in the last few days, there have been attacks waged by settlers against Palestinians, burning Palestinian homes, properties. And the worst incident was yesterday. There were an incident in the village of Kusra in the West Bank. And in that incident, there were 4 Palestinians who were killed. Eyewitnesses from the place are saying that there were settlers who were there and shooting. And today there were funerals for these 4. And the settlers in the area, they organized a campaign to attack the ambulances in which these bodies were carried. And during this attack, settlers opened fire at the ambulances, and 2 people were killed. So 2 Palestinians were killed today by settlers, and this is just to indicate the tension and the situation in the West Bank.
Yeah, so you've got that situation in the West Bank, and compare that with what we're seeing right now on the border between Israel and Gaza. The Prime Minister today, Benjamin Netanyahu, he spoke in the Knesset. And what was the message that we heard from him? I mean, how close is Israel now to moving with a ground offensive against the Gaza Strip?
Well, no doubt that currently Israel is mounting forces around the Gaza Strip, and we don't know exactly when this is going to begin. The idea is that it's going to be a surprise attack. I mean, of course, Hamas is expecting something else other than these airstrikes. But I think the way that Israel is going to go ahead is they're going to try and create some kind of a surprise effect. So here everyone is anticipating. But I can tell you that the whole Israeli society is now expecting to have a long campaign. Analysts here are talking about months. The schools all over Israel are not operating, and they're going to learning from distance. So there is a kind of a preparation for this kind of like ground operation.
Yeah, and a disruption for all of society in the process. Sami, as always, we appreciate your reporting. Thank you.